Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tez from Tez and Tech. So, with Apple's next major iOS and iPadOS update coming out later this fall, they're introducing a bunch of new features to the Apple ecosystem, such as Apple Intelligence, Calculator app for iPad, which is long overdue, and app customization, just to name a few. However, some of the most unexpected additions to this Apple ecosystem are the applications that they're introducing, and I'm talking about passwords and freeform. And this got me thinking, can Apple potentially disrupt already established password managers and note taking apps like 1Password and Notably? I think time will tell, honestly. But with that said, I want to compare 1Password with Apple Password and see if this will get me to cut over later this year. Because I'm a heavy 1Password user and I've been using it for over 5 years. So, with that said, let's get into it, guys.
I'm really interested to see what Passwords has to offer. And without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap on 1Password, and I have to scan my face. So already, that is something that I kind of already noticed out of the gate is that Passwords app requires you to only do the FaceTime in order to get into the application, whereas 1Password gives you both options of either typing in a password or also doing the face scan as well. So that is something that I initially was like, huh, I'm a little curious why they didn't add that feature. But this is I am running beta, so later down the line, I'm sure they'll add the ability to type in your password. But if you're in a area where your camera is obstructed, or you're like in the dark, or whatever the case may be, that your camera is not working, it would be nice to have the option in order to type in the password without having to do the face scan all the time. So that was just something I noticed. So yeah, let's take a look. So once you open the application, it picks up where you left off. And in this case, I was looking at all of my passwords. So I created some test passwords in here ahead of time just to get some activity in here. So if I tap on this icon on the top left, it opens up and it shows us different categories that I already have set up. So we can view all passwords. We have pass keys. It's kind of nice that they have this out of the box. So pass keys, it says here, passkeys provide the strongest security available for your accounts. When using a passkey, you use Face ID, Touch ID, Optic ID, or your passcode to sign in. So it's nice that Apple already has an alternative, secure way to access passwords or to access your sensitive content. So that's pretty cool. So we have codes. So these are verification codes. Verification codes provide an extra layer of security to help you keep your account safe. So I'm a huge advocate for verification passcodes and 2 off. These are the passcodes that will rotate on a timer. It uses like 30 seconds, or it's pretty short. And this gives you another avenue in order to make sure your accounts are secure. So if you do not have passcodes, I highly recommend it, especially for accounts that are sensitive or that have gotten breached in the past. Definitely use passcodes, but I'm satisfied that they have that capability already baked into to this application. So that gives me warm and fuzzy feelings. So and then Wi-Fi, I'm not going to select that yet, but this Wi-Fi, basically any Wi-Fi connections that you've had in the past on your iPad or wherever the case may be, it will remember those accounts, and it will just display it as well as password as well. So that's cool that they have that available there as well. And security. So this says right now, I don't have anything in here, but it says password notifies you if your passwords are easily guessed or found in a data leak. So this is similar to what 1Password has for a thing called Watchtower, where they basically have a database. Well, they claim they search the dark web or whatever the case may be, but basically it's any known website or pretty much anything that has had a data breach. They will notify you to say, hey, like E-Trade has had a data breach. You might want to change your password because your account was compromised, or XYZ, whatever the case may be. But That is awesome that they have that the capability in here already baked in, because obviously if you have passwords, you want to make sure that you have the utmost security, and that that's nice that they have this already available, um, and so that's really cool. If you take a look on the left side, you have shared groups, so you can create groups. So if you're like me, I have family members, or shared Netflix account, or whatever the case may be, a password that's shared amongst multiple people. You not only have your own password that you can, or a top level account that you have, but you got subcategories of just different subgroups that you can share to whoever. So mm, I have some test ones here, but for instance, like top secret, if I wanted to add a password there, actually let's just create a new one. So let's create a new group just so you can see what this looks like. So create a new group. We're going to create another test account. So I'm going to say test group, test group 5, because I got many groups I have to test out. So we're going to add people. So if you want to add someone, you can enter a name, email, phone number, and send them a link, and they will be able to connect to that account. In that case, I'm going to hit create. It's going to ask me if I want to move any additional or any passwords that I currently have ownership of to that group. So, this one I'll do the Crunchyroll one, my Indie Luffy one, and we'll go ahead and move that one over. And so, as you can see here, test group 5, one member, that's myself. But if you have multiple, it'll display that correct number. And we have the account that I am sharing. So let's create a new password. So if I create new password for this account, I'm going to create let's just do an Apple, let's do Apple ID. And we will do username. Let's do TNT, sure, and password. So I like the fact that it gives you a suggested password, and I'm just going to select that one because why not? And then obviously the group that you want to associate that password with. So in this case, I did create the test group 5, and it defaults to that group that I'm currently in. But if I want to select another one, I could do so there. So that's available as well. So let's go ahead and save that. Let's take a look at that. So that's my Apple ID TNT. That's the password there as well. And as you can see, it's contributed by myself, so me. And then right here is where you could add that verification code. So if I hit this link right here, or it says set up verification code, this will give me the ability to set up that verification code either with a setup key, or I can scan their QR code there with the camera. So that option is available to you. I highly recommend it if you do not use verification codes. I'm a huge proponent of security, so yes, do that to help yourself out. So that is pretty much it. So out of the box, I like the fact that you do have the ability to create, a verification code. It does have that that ability to let you know as far as any compromise accounts that have had a data leak, and ability to create groups and to share passwords just out of the gate. That's everything I would expect from password management application. Like, already I'm satisfied. If you're if you're just a user that's looking for, if you create if you have your password stored in notes, like my mother-in-law, she has a notes that she keeps her password that's not so secure. Move those things into here. This is native to the Apple ecosystem, and again, it's attached to iCloud. It will be synced all over your devices, and that will take care of any of those passwords that are just on a sticky note or whatever the case may be. So that's awesome that they have all of those capabilities already baked into this application. So now let's take a look at 1Password and see what they have to offer. So let's go ahead and go over here. So 1Password. So already I'm gonna block that out, but already you can see that I'm able to enter in a password as well as do my face ID scan there. So I'm going to select Face ID, and again, I really like that ability. So if you're for whatever reason you can't, you know, this is obstructed, whatever the case may be, you want to have multiple options. I don't care what you do. So you want to have two ways to get into your passwords, especially if this is if this is essentially your life. Is in here. So if I go to home, it gives me kind of an overview. And 1Password, again, they have been doing this for a very long time. So um, it's not going to surprise me to see that they have a lot of these just different views where you can view your password. Like, I can customize this view. It's giving me, uh, some tidbits up here on creating a Safari extension, and 1Password goes above and beyond just this application. But for to compare apples to apples, no pun intended, we're going to be comparing just the application with this application with Apple's password application. So um, with Vaults, they uh, 1Password, their Vaults is Apple Groups. So if I go here, demo, this is the test account that I created, and these are the accounts that I created ahead of time. Just get some activity. So let's just create a password, right? So if I tap on that plus sign right there, you already notice that I have a lot more than just passwords, right? So I have login, I have my password, identity, we have secure nodes, and you also have bank accounts, you have your medical records. So it makes sense that when you have a password management application, that you are not only wanting to secure just passwords, but you want to secure things like bank accounts. So again, 1Password has been doing this for a lot longer, so they already have these profiles already set up in their application in order to cater to whatever you need at the moment, right? So again, let's just compare apples to apples. So we're going to create a password and just see what they have to offer. So if I create a password here, we're going to delete this. Let's do a test. Let's do a test 6, sure. And we're going to create a account. So it's going to suggest one. So let's do test and tech 2, and then password. So take a look at this. So if I hit create password, um, already they are giving you the ability to either create a memorable password, which I'm a huge fan of, something that's just, you can make 3 words, or, upwards to like 5 or 8 or whatever the case. So we'll go down to 3 for this test. But you also have the ability to create a random password, right? So you can create a 34-character password. It can be a number, numbers, symbols, a mix of both, whatever you want, right? And then you also can create just a generic PIN code that you can, select the amount of numbers that you want in that PIN code. So already you have the ability to select a variety of different password options um, in here. And not only that, there's like subcategories of things. So if I want to have these separated by periods, I can do so. Spaces, I can do so. Commas. I really like hyphens. So for this test, we're going to do hyphens. But as you can see, I can separate it by numbers, right? So it gives you the ability to, uh, cater the password to whatever you're looking for. You can make it as advanced as you want, or as simple as you like. So you'll notice that there's like a little green bar right here, so that kind of gives you a visual indication on. I'm sorry, let's go back right here. So that gives you a visual indication on how strong that password is, and that will basically, you can say, okay, I want it a little bit stronger, and you can keep going. But so out of the gate, gives you a lot more options than the Apple Passwords application. But I'm going to hit use, so we're going to use that application. And then along here, you can create notes even. You can attach um, pictures or images or whatever you want to this particular password, and websites, and the list goes on. You can really customize this the way you like it. I really like adding tags, so we're gonna add super secret tag because it gives you the ability to search for passwords that you commonly use. But let's hit save, and we're gonna go to that test 6 password that we just created. And as you can see here, we already have that all set up. So if I hit edit, let's just take a look at adding more. And this one-time password that they're saying here, this is basically the rotating pass verification key that I was talking about with that the passwords application had. So if I hit this QR code, I can scan the QR code and it will set that up, and it'll have a rotating password in there as well. So that's already baked into this as well. So that is basically the basics of this password, um, of the password creation aspect of this. But obviously, you saw there was a lot more options in there, and again, 1Password has been doing this for a lot longer. So let's take a look at Watchtower. So just like how Apple had the ability to check against a database and to see if there's any leaks or compromised passwords, 1Password has the same capabilities. It's called Watchtower. So get alerts for any security issues that affected you. Your score get gives an overall idea of how safe your data is. Take action on flagged items to level up your security. So they give you a score, and it's kind of nice to kind of get how I like the fact that they give you sort of a score, some visual representation on how secure your passwords are as a whole. And it does, if there are some that have been breached, it does call those passwords out, and it says, hey, your Google account or E-Trade account has been breached in the past. You might want to change your password, and it will let you know about that. It will let you know about passwords that you have used multiple times. I'm guilty as charged. So if I have, say, I've used, Apple's 1, 2, 3, 4 like 10 times in my list of passwords here, it will say, hey, you use this multiple times. You might want to mix it up on your different passwords there as well. So it does a really good job on making sure you're as secure as possible. And again, it does that by giving this visual representation of a number as well as like a little color line here. So we also have categories on the side. So just things that if you have that you could customize this as well. This is just something that's default here, but you can make this whatever you want. Again, I like adding tags, so I really like adding the ability to say, hey, okay, this is my personal stuff. This is this is my super secret passwords there as well. So that is 1Passwords in a nutshell. So um, I would say that out of the gate, passwords as a free option is pretty awesome. Again, 1Password costs money. You do have to subscribe to that. And I can tell you one thing about 1Password that Passwords has not had to deal with yet is that 1Password actually has had their own security issues as well. So I think a couple of years ago they did have some data breaches. I don't think it was too severe, but again, they have had that issue. And since Apple is so uh, they're so secure, or they really are security focused rather, they obviously haven't had that issue because passwords is fairly new, but I would imagine the same rules that they follow with the iPhone security, that same rules will follow with passwords as well. So yeah, so my initial impression is that look, password is a good free option. I still would like to see a little bit more variety in passwords, but I think Apple will add those later down the line. But I don't know. It's I feel like it's enough to get me to use it. Again, it's in the Apple ecosystem, so again, being able to seamlessly access this from my iPad to my iPhone and so on. That would be really nice. Um, but again, 1Password does have a lot of extensions. They have a whole really robust application on the Mac that I use a lot as well. And those extensions are really awesome. They have one for Safari, they have one for Google Chrome, all the major web browsers that have them. So it gives you the ability to just have those passwords autofill, in your web browser as well. So I think only time will tell if 1Password will be sweating in their boots. But I think for now they're in a safe place. They have a really strong base. But I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future. But um, thank you again for watching this video. If you have any feedback, please let me know. And please subscribe, please like, and comment of anything below that I might have missed. And until then, I'll see you guys on the next one.